welcome back to our channel. I'm Rowan.
Yo, our hi guys straight up woke the baby up. She went.
I'm Rowan.
And I'm Abeer.
This is my sister. She's been on the channel before. You guys have seen her in multiple videos. We did Family Feud with us. We did the DIY. No. You can't be speaking while we're filming. So I wanted to do this video for a while. I did brush up upon it a little bit in another video when I did like the anxiety and Disney. I said that I was going to explain to you guys a little bit about our customs and how we do things. So first of all, what are we?
Religion, nationality, like...
Well, you could say both.
We're Palestinian Muslims.
So the reason why I asked Abeer to come is because I don't know how to speak by myself and I wanted her to kind of like help me and explain things to you guys. I got a lot of questions, especially when everyone found out on Instagram that Mina is engaged. Congrats, Mina! So I got a lot of questions like asking like, oh, Mina knew that she was getting engaged, like is it a surprise for you guys or is that how you do it? I thought, you know what, let me explain to you guys the process of how we meet someone and how we get married and stuff. If you don't want to watch this video, you totally don't have to. I know it has nothing to do with Disney, so you can totally click out of it.
Oh, okay, hold on. It couldn't do with Disney in the sense that nobody judges the way that people got married in Disney. It's Aurora and Philip were betrothed at birth. We don't do that, by the way, like that's extreme, but they were betrothed at birth and like nobody looks at that being weird. So we'll try to connect it in that way to relate it to you people.
The history person, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my god, I didn't even think of it that way.
Like in our religion, there's certain rules and regulations when it comes to being with the opposite sex or how you're supposed to meet somebody. We don't technically meet somebody and start dating and then they propose in some magical way. Imagine if only.
Right.
Instead, like our dating period is after you get engaged.
Yes.
Because it needs to be, the whole point is to protect both parties in, number one, for example, being taken advantage of, what your intentions are. So really the only time you can ever truly be with the other person has to be with the thought that you want to marry them. But because we're Palestinian, usually in our culture it comes through word of mouth, meaning, you know, this person is looking to get married. So if you have a single daughter, let them meet, and if they like each other they can get engaged, and when they get engaged they essentially technically they date. And then say on the off chance they don't really feel like they have that much of a connection, they could break the engagement, and that's really what it is. So think of your dating period our betrothed / engagement period. Both families have to be involved. You need to get your parents' permission, his parents have to be on board, and then it's basically like a very holistic and like community-based way to get to know somebody.
Wow, you did a good job in explaining it.
Okay.
This is why I wanted her on here. My situation was really, like honestly, it was very different compared to how other people get engaged nowadays, I feel. No?
And people in our culture, no.
Really? It's still the same?
Let's just say there's a shortage of good men out there, so this is not the way people are doing it now as often because it's harder to find good guys. So now girls are trying to find guys elsewhere. But in our culture and in our family, there's still many people that get engaged the way that Rowan got engaged.
Basically, it was by word of mouth. My dad had received a call from my great uncle. My husband and his mom, well, my husband now obviously, were visiting my great uncle at the time, and they were like family friends.
But they were visiting because they were trying to find him a wife.
Basically,
he turned 30. And like in our culture, like the girls first of all get married mad young, and like the men, when you hit 30 and you're pushing 30, it's like, okay, oh, I gotta find him a wife. Yeah. He couldn't find one himself, basically.
Not what it is. He didn't want to get married that way. He didn't want to do it the traditional way. He told me that.
He's Americanized.
He's very Americanized. I have to stress that out. He didn't want to meet someone like that, but he relented because his mom was always on his case. She's like, you need to settle down. I want grandkids. Like, what are you doing with your life?
He was the oldest son too, so there was more pressure on him.
So basically, my great uncle called my dad and he was like, listen, I have this guy over here that's staying with me. He's looking for a wife. I thought of Rowan. Because this is how it happens. Like, they go through all the women in the family.
Like, they try to go start with the oldest, like that's single, because they want to give them the shot, and then they start going down the list, like straight up.
Literally.
How old are you, Rowan Hussein?
I don't want to talk about this because I know I'm going to be so judged. Okay, so
Why?
I don't know. I was 18 at the time. I had just started college.
Okay, but there's some people that are gonna judge and be like, wow, how she was 18, she was so young. But like, people freaking date when they're like 10 years old nowadays.
That's true, that's true. Anyway, but I guess because this is marriage, so it's different.
You got engaged, which is our dating period, so again.
Okay, anyway, so I was 18 at the time. So my dad was like, sure. You know, he wasn't really, like, he wasn't very serious about it because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, we have like in the past gotten calls where like so-and-so is looking for a wife. Does Rowan or Abeer want to sit with the gentleman? And my dad would be like, sure, and then it never happened. So my dad really didn't expect this to fall through. So anyway, so we got that call. My mom is the one that came to me and was like, you know, do you want to sit with this man?
It was like the middle of the night. We're like sleeping, and she was like, Rowan, there's a gentleman. He is this many years old. He does this. He lives in Dubai. And I'm literally like waking up in my little high school body, and I was like, what the heck is going on? I was like, Mama, leave her alone. We're not interested.
Yeah, Abeer was very protective of me back then.
She would have to move to Dubai, and I remember just being like, she's not gonna like him, she's not gonna like him.
Yeah, and then she was like, I'm gonna go and visit him and his mom by myself and try to get to know him a little bit better, and then I'll come back and tell you what happened. So my mom goes and visits them. She comes back and she's like, I really think you would make a great couple. Like, you totally should meet him. And of course, like, nothing is forced. They gave me like the choice. I was really excited. I was nervous.
I was like, he is 30 years old. Rowan, you are not getting with this guy. Like, I was trying to convince her against it. My mom was like, all right, we're gonna take Rowan before we go to the dinner so she can meet him. And I was like, whatever, okay, see you at the dinner. Like, we all know this isn't gonna work out.
He came over. Remember, with his mom. I didn't meet him
You met him the first time here?
Yeah.
Well, oh my God. And we played the ugly.
Wait,
do you remember that? Long story short, they came to visit us here at like our house, and my dad, because he was so nervous, was constantly like talking, like he was just blah, 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 he was just trying to keep the conversation going. Papa did not say a single word. He just sat there in like silence.
Yeah.
And I remember me and Rowan were talking about how we like watching movies. Well, his mom was trying to like obviously show that there's a connection between them. So she was like, oh, you know, he really likes to watch movies. I was saying, oh, we like to too. And I forgot, I was like, oh, we collect DVDs. And then like Hafid goes, or you could just watch it on Hulu. And I remember being like, what? Like, it came out of nowhere. Like, he just like spoke. And first of all, we come from a very simple family. We did not know what the frig Hulu was.
Yeah. Or Netflix.
Yeah.
Was Netflix even alive?
I think so, but when he said Hulu, I was like, what?
He hadn't said a peep the entire night. So when he spoke, but I feel like the reason why he was very quiet is because, well, he's like that.
But it's all, when it was, think about it, it's such a formal setting. It's like his mom's there, our parents are there, and then it's like the girl that's like the prospective girl, and then it's like me. Here's another thing in our culture, like when the family comes to visit and like there's a perspective of like marriage, the woman has to like show her domesticity. So you gotta like serve the tea, and not like the drama tea. Like, you gotta serve the actual mint black tea. And it's just so freaking fake, because it's like my mom is the one that made the tea, and then goes like, all right, Rowan, go serve it, go pour it. And I'm literally just like, this friggin' culture. Like,
oh my God. His mom was the one that was really speaking the entire time. She was the one like asking me about my school, like what I like to do and stuff like that. I feel like he was just there observing like the situation, like listening to what I was saying. So then he left. And my mom was like, what did you think? And I was like, he's nice, but he didn't say anything. Like, I don't know what he's like. So she's like, don't worry. We're gonna expect a call from them, hopefully, either tomorrow morning or in the afternoon, and we'll see if he liked you or not. The next morning, Mama wakes me up at like 6 a.m. She's shaking the bed out of excitement. She's like, Rowan, he liked you! So she was like, okay, so now we're gonna get you guys to sit alone. So I went to my great uncle's house. They have like a really nice balcony, so they sat us outside and everybody else was inside in the living room. So we sat there, and at first it was very awkward because it's a very awkward situation. But then once we started to get the conversation going, it really flowed really well.
and what was the main connection when she was like, he the one? When he said he watched
Gilmore Girls.
Yeah. We were saying like that, as in, I guess in the sense that like he doesn't just like typical
like action
guy. Yeah.
So we spoke to each other for like about 2.5 hours. They served us the tea. They brought in and put us the tea and the biscuits and all that. And then it was time for us to go eat at my uncle's house. So we had to leave.
You basically told me like, you're like, I'm considering it.
Yeah.
And I was like, Rowan, like, how could you? And she was like, But he watches Gilmore Girls, he's like down to earth, and I'm like, Gilmore Girls, like that's your tipping point.
Then we all, like all of us, like Abeer, Sarah, my mom, me, his mom, him, and like my great uncle and everybody, we all went to the living room in my great uncle's house. My dad was refusing to come to the house because...
So my dad didn't think that it was ever gonna, like he didn't think that I would be interested, so he kind of like entertained the idea just out of courtesy to his uncle. But now it was like legit, like they want to like basically
get engaged,
get engaged. And my dad was like, nope. He was like, you can't make me. And he stayed home. We were literally all waiting for him because you need
the parents' permission to move
it's a certain term in our culture. Like, so he needed to be there for it to actually be legit.
So my mom was all for it, but my dad did not want to come. It took my other great uncle to drag him out of the house because my great uncle who introduced us, he lives like a couple blocks away from my parents' house. And my dad was like very solemn faced, like he wasn't very happy.
Same story with me.
Yeah, everybody was like so happy, like oh my god, this is happening, and my dad was just like, so my dad stressed to his mom and to my husband that Rowan has to finish college. And that is the only thing that I want for her. She could get married to you, I don't care, but she needs to finish her education. And that was something that was very important to my dad. And of course, my husband was like, absolutely, I would want her to finish her education as well. We're sitting in the living room, my dad is there, my mom's there, everybody's there. And they look at me and they're like, Rowan, do you see a potential marriage happening? Or do you guys like agree to get engaged? And I'm like, yes. And then they turn to my husband, do you feel like you can get engaged to this woman? He said yes, and that's literally how it happened.
We had the most traditional engagement, that's crazy.
And that's how we basically agreed to get engaged. So this gave us the permission to speak to each other on the phone, to email, we did Yahoo Messenger.
This is, free. Yeah. When texting was like, you had to hit 3 buttons to get to the letter. Like,
yeah, literally, that's what it was. And we were engaged. He went back to Dubai. I was here studying. It was very hard being away from him during that period. I got to know him a lot. But I think that's all I really wanted to talk about, like how we met each other and stuff. Okay, so Abeer's story is completely different.
Even though we're literally 2 years apart, but so look how easy, I don't want to say it's easy, but he was like one of the first men that came. And he was Palestinian. I want to stress that. He's also Palestinian Muslim. So obviously there was like no like vendetta or like stigma against his family. But I feel like nowadays, and even when I was trying to find, because Dawn got engaged when she was 18, 19. I didn't get engaged till I was, I think, what, 22 or something. So as times went on and the boys are getting shittier and times are getting hard, and the Palestinian boys in our family or like in our extended like community, they are marrying through recommendations of their family, their mama's boys, they're getting married at 21. So as I'm getting older, the choices are getting slim. I never wanted a Palestinian guy. I'm gonna be upfront with you guys. I think Arab guys are garbage. They don't stand on their own 2 feet, and that like bothered me. But anyway, I would have been open to a Palestinian, but I was honestly really obsessed with white boys. I wanted to like be with literally a blue-eyed, blonde-haired man. And that probably comes from the fact that I'm just part of an Arab family. But then so that was always something I had in my mind, like that's what I found attractive, whatever. That ended up not happening anyway. Basically, I was talking to different guys with my mom knowing. So I went differently from Rowan because people weren't coming to ask for me. So, and girls wants to get married. Like she wants to meet somebody, and if there's nobody coming, kind of talking to people about college, etc., etc. One semester, it was my sophomore year in college, part of a club on campus that was fighting for like solidarity and justice for people in occupied countries. We had just opened the club and it was our first event, and we were getting, I think because we had just started out, other campuses that had the same type of club came to support us. And one of those campuses was Brooklyn College, and that is actually where I ended up meeting my future mans, because he was there as the photographer and I guess like club member, and he was taking photos of us, trying to publicize our club, signs that say like don't silence our history. When I saw him, I actually thought he was Arab initially, so I was like in my mind, okay, there's potential because my parents would be okay with that. So I even like asked him, I was like, oh, where are you from? This is literally just from him taking my photo and me thinking he's cute. We had like no conversation whatsoever, and I actually thought he liked me when he saw me, and he's like later on down the line he actually said I was obnoxious. He thought I was obnoxious. Whatever, you married to me now, sucker. He ended up saying he was from Bangladesh, and I remember being like, crap to the crap. Like, my dad is not gonna let me marry a South Asian. Like, even though they're Muslim, again, like they're Muslim, but because they're like, in my parents' eyes, my dad's eyes, he's just like some Indian brown boy. Like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
So I was just kind of like, all right, you know what? He's cute, maybe, just maybe. And we ended up starting messaging on Facebook. He reached out to me for like a social media campaign because back then I was like a blogger on Instagram. So he reached out and we just started talking, and then little by little we started sharing our interests, and I was like, wow, this guy's like, he's a go-getter. He's not like those Palestinian boys that just sit on their mom's couches. Like, he was trying to make a difference in the world, like raising money to like help people in other countries. So I was like, all right, this is legit. It's not like I like you, I want to be with you. It was kind of just like very vague ways in showing that we liked each other. And then he was just like, he basically one night asked me, you know, would your parents ever be okay with you marrying somebody that wasn't Palestinian? And I was like, oh, this is him asking me, this is it. And I was like, yeah, like as long as he did the right things, you know, like again, my dad's gonna want somebody that has a job, like is gonna take care of the family. You know, my dad's just trying to protect his girls.
Absolutely.
So I said something like, as long as the man is ready, like my dad won't decline. And that was basically him saying like, I wanna marry you, would you marry me? And me saying yes, but not being that open about it.
Yeah.
So then I basically spoke to my mom, and this is us. Okay, by the way, if you guys think we've been talking for years, we have been speaking for maybe like 2 weeks, like not even, like, and we're ready to get married. So I tell my mom, I was like, okay, mom, there's this guy, he wants to, you know, ask for me. His name is like Sahadin, he's from Bangladesh. My mom's very open-minded, so as long as she's like, as long as he's a good Muslim, I'm fine with it. So she's more of the religious side, whereas my dad's more on the cultural side. So she goes, if, you know, he's okay with it, like as in if he's a good guy, your dad should say yes. So literally, this is February, we're watching the Oscars. I'm like, I gotta tell my dad, I gotta tell him.
Oh my god, that was the most awkward. Oh my god, I remember that.
I was just like, Baba, there's a guy that wants to come ask for me. And my dad's like, okay. And I'm like, but he's from Bangladesh. And my dad was like I think he didn't think it was gonna be possible, like that he would even like meet his standards. So he was like, is he in school? I'm like, yeah, he graduates this semester. He's like, all right, let him graduate and let him get a job. And if he gets a good job, then we'll talk. That's basically what he said, thinking that it wasn't gonna work out. And I'm like, okay. And then that whole semester, I basically hung out with him. So this is obviously not okay in both even our religion and our culture. But my mom knew that I was hanging out with him. So I would go hang out with him. We would keep talking, yada, yada, yada. Come summer, he graduates. I'm like, Baba, he graduated. He was like, does he have a job? I was like, he's looking. He's like, he's looking. And he was like, until he gets a job. So the entire summer, literally praying to God, I was like, please let him get a job. He finished in biology, wasn't even working in biology, ended up getting a job at NBC as a QA engineer in September. So I literally went to my dad and I was like, Baba, he got a job. He's making this much a year. We are ready. And he was just like, I think he got caught in his word because he was like, crap. And he was like, okay, just let them come. And he came with his parents and his 2 brothers and his sister. Same way the way it was with like Rowan. So they came, we served the tea, like then we read the opening verses and we got engaged.
Yep.
But my dad wasn't really like even on board with it until like a few months like later.
Yeah.
And now they're like best friends. So you know what? If they don't like him at the beginning, means nothing, because my dad loves him and I hate him.
Oh my god, who the heck watched this entire thing? I hope like this showed you guys a little bit about where we come from and how we do things. If you guys still have some questions, absolutely ask them in the comments below and I'll try my best, or even Abeer will try her best to answer them for you guys. But that's pretty much what I wanted to share in this video.
People fall in love and meet in different ways. People using Tinder and crap like that always judging you guys, so don't judge when it's a recommendation. Just know that it's not arranged. So when people say that we sit down, so that's similar, like I mean, it's not our place to talk about Mina because, you know, but just know that it followed the same thing, that they technically had to have both families on board.
So thank you guys so much for watching. As I said, if you guys have any questions, please let us know. I hope you guys found this interesting. I don't know if I'll ever do this again because this is just so different.
Do what? Talk about your personal life?
Yeah, I don't know.
This was more personal, talking about your anxiety?
I feel. Yeah. Have a magical day, guys.
And I'm so sorry from the video, I keep going like that. I keep looking at the baby to see if she woke up.
She is awake though, she's swinging. And that annoying noise you hear in the background, hopefully you can't hear it because of the music, is because of her. She's swinging. Anyway, can you stop drinking for 2 seconds?
Look, it's a Doctor Who Tumblr.
What the heck? Have a magical day. Bye.